Hey everyone, this is Joy of Joy Morris Beauty, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my top 10 tips for fighting CCCA, so stay tuned. All right, a little disclaimer here before I get started. I'm not a doctor or medical professional, and these tips, they're my own personal 10 tips that I am using. We all have to do our own research, and I'm pretty much just sharing what I'm using. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get into the first tip. The first tip that I have is to find a good dermatologist. Now, I know that's easier said than done, but it's definitely worth it because your dermatologist is going to help to kind of guide you through this journey. And so you want to make sure that you find someone who actually understands what CCCA is, who understands black hair, if possible. If you find a dermatologist who is black, that'd be awesome. My dermatologist is actually a black female. I was very fortunate to find her. She's not anywhere near me, so when I do see her, I have to drive. I have to do some intense highway driving to go see her. But it's definitely worth it because I know that she really understands my scalp issue and a lot of what I'm dealing with. So it makes it worth it, especially considering the fact that you only have to go see the dermatologist. Most people might only have to go every 3 or 6 months. So I say it's definitely worth it. If you don't know where to start, I suggest scarringalopecia.org, which is a Scarring Alopecia Foundation that maintains a list of doctors who understand scarring alopecia, and that should be able to hopefully get you started. I think I found my person through Google. I pulled up my insurance. I pulled up all the dermatologists in Dallas under my insurance, and I painstakingly looked them up one by one, looking up the Google reviews, trying to figure out someone who understood particular issues that Black people have with skin and hair. I didn't find her before I was diagnosed. Well, no, I did find her before I was diagnosed because I was starting just to go, to get skin checkups and things like that. So I was pretty blessed that I already kind of was in her rotation when my scalp issues started flaring up. But definitely, first and foremost, you want to get you a good derm. Okay, with that being said, your dermatologist is most likely going to prescribe you some medicines. So make sure that you are a compliant patient, so to speak, and that you listen to them. For me personally, in terms of prescription medications right now, I am on clobetasol propionate, which is a topical scalp solution that I use once a week when I wash my hair. That's my current prescription guidance from my dermatologist. And then I use a liquid metformin solution that my dermatologist has me taking. I take this nightly. So I have to use this special pharmacy where it's compounded for me. It's not cheap. It's not too expensive either. But, I'm fighting a fight of saving my hair, so it's definitely worth it. Rarely do I miss a night when I put on my liquid metformin onto my scalp. And I just washed my hair today, so I have to do both of them tonight. But my scalp has improved quite a bit, where it used to be as soon as I washed my hair, I had to put on the clobetasol because I would just feel like that burn and start right back as soon as the medicine was off my hair. But I've been improving quite a bit. So I washed my hair a few hours ago and my scalp feels fine, but I'm still following my doctor's orders. So definitely anything you've been prescribed to do, work through that with your doctor or your dermatologist. I've been really vocal and honest on the channel with my treatment plan that I was working on with my dermatologist, even including drug allergies that I found out about, just trying to get my scalp situation under control. So it's definitely a little bit of a journey you have to go through, but it's definitely worth it. So prescriptions. Number 3, drinking water. I know that ever since I started posting about my alopecia, a lot of you all out there who have either the same type CCCA or similar types have been sharing so many tips with me. And I have been talking with my husband about this one too, but really just wanted to up my own water intake. And so there's lots of different guidance out there medically about how much water you're supposed to drink. And as I said, your medical professionals can really help you figure that out. For me, I wanted to challenge myself to drink a good amount of water, not so much that I would get sick, but just a good amount. So I've been really honest about my health and my weight on the channel, my weight loss. It's been kind of slow the past couple months. So I've been I've been resting at about 205 for a little bit. So I have a goal of drinking 100 ounces of water a day. Now, this is new for me. I've only done this in this past week, but let me tell you, the difference that I feel in my body is insane. A lot of my weight fluctuation I've dealt with on the scale definitely has kind of subsided. Even just over this past week, it's been a bit more consistent. My scalp has felt a whole lot better this past week too, which I have to contribute to the water, because that's the only new thing that I started in the past week or so. I just feel a whole lot better. I've been trying to drink 32 ounces before breakfast, before lunch, and before dinner. And then, with me drinking my coffee, and then I have sparkling water for dinner when I'm taking my supplements after dinner, that usually gets me over 100 ounces. So when I split it up like that throughout the day, so I'm not overwhelming my body with water, it's not too difficult, but I can sense the difference in my body, even in my scalp. So I said, let me add it to my 10 tips because I think that'll serve as a reminder for me as I'm trying to build this habit and be more consistent with it. Tip number 4, washing the scalp. So I wash my scalp every week. I have found that my scalp has become so sensitive the more that I've come kind of into my alopecia diagnosis, and I do not like having much of anything on my scalp, including dirt. And I usually wash my scalp about once a week, but once I get close to that 7th day, I can feel a lot of that sensitivity and the crown area kind of ramp up a little bit. And it always kind of eases back down after I wash my hair. So my favorite shampoo that I'm using right now is the Mill Organics Rosemary Mint Strengthening Shampoo. I had went through a few different shampoos. Some I was ordering off of Amazon and special companies, and tried some stuff from Trader Joe's. And I have been trying all different types of things, but I have really settled here. It gives me this nice, refreshing tingle without it being too intense for my scalp. So it cleanses it. It doesn't strip my locks. It's kind of where I am right now. And I don't have that's a whole separate video, my lock hair care regimen. I don't have it all the way down yet. I don't have all my favorite products picked out. I'm still figuring that out. But in terms of the shampoo that I definitely use every week, this is it right here. Tip number 5, using a rosemary spray on the scalp. Now, I try not to get anything on my scalp with the exception of my shampoo when I wash my hair, my scalp medicines, and then rosemary, which I started using after a bit of my research. I found that it's anti-inflammatory. So I actually make my own rosemary spray. This is really old rosemary. I have to buy some more. It's supposed to be green. So I don't think I'm going to use these, but it's only like $2 or $3 from the store. It's in the salad section with all the cut up fruits and vegetables, and then they have all the fresh herbs. So I'll get one of those. I have a little bitty crock pot, and I'll get a cup of distilled water, put the herbs in there, and I let it simmer for a couple hours, and I let it cool off. I drain out the little leaves, the rosemary stick leaf things, and then I just put it in here in my continuous sprayer. And I spray my scalp mostly every day. It's so refreshing, especially being here in Dallas because it's so hot. It's starting to cool down just a little bit. But, if I'm caught out in the sun with another tip I mentioned without my hat, I'll come home and just kind of spray my scalp down. I try to use it almost every day, and it really works really nicely with everything that I'm using to keep my scalp from, flaring up in terms of any burning or just that intense irritation that sometimes happens with CCCA. So DIY homemade rosemary spray. I keep this in the fridge because it will expire very quickly. I traveled out of town and I tried to take a little bottle with me. And after 2 days into my trip, it was no good. It was smelly. I was like, ugh, I sprayed it on my hair. I was like, ugh, yuck. So definitely has to be refrigerated. But so this is cold because I just took it out the fridge to show you all, but it's definitely been worth it for me. Number 6, supplements. I have done a lot of research trying to figure out which supplements I could take on a daily basis to help heal my body and to help reduce inflammation within my body. So number 1, turmeric is my number 1 supplement that I take. Rarely do I skip a day. Even just changing brands, there are only a couple brands that I do use because I tried to switch to like a more inexpensive brand, and I felt the difference in my scalp with a couple of days into the new dosing with the new bottle. So I just threw those out and went back to the ones. They're a bit more pricey. I get these off of Amazon, but I take 2 of them a day religiously. Rarely do I miss, as I said. Also for me, I take ginger root. I take 1 ginger root pill each day. That really works for me. And I take a probiotic. I take a women's probiotic to just kind of, for overall health, to just kind of maintain all my system functioning. There are some other supplements that I take, but in terms of the ones that really kind of hit the nail on the head for my CCCA, those are the ones that I take, like I said, religiously. Rarely do I skip a day. And when it gets into taking supplements, you really do have to talk to your doctor because sometimes, even though it's not a prescription, some things can interact with medicines that you are already taking, especially if you have blood work coming up, and that can get a little complicated with like medical history and things of that nature. So I always make sure, like with my primary care physician and any specialist that I'm working with for any particular issue, I list out all my supplements so that they know exactly what I'm taking. And they can just be aware in case they foresee any interaction with something else I may be working through medically. So that's just really, like I said, it's a supplement, but it is powerful, and you're using it because it works. But sometimes there are interactions that you may not be aware of. So, I loop in my doctor and things of that nature. So that's recommendation that I have. Just again, make sure to consult with your doctor on that. Number 7, protecting your scalp from the sun. So, everyone's CCCA is different from what I understand in terms of symptoms. I think that one of the trickiest things about CCCA is some people may not even know they have it until it's too late because they don't often have like the burning, sensitive scalp symptom, which is one symptom that I had prominently. And for me, what really, really flared up to let me know it was an issue was in the sun down here in this Dallas sun. My scalp, initially before I was diagnosed, I had like 2 days of intense pain to the point of having a headache. I was like, what is wrong with me? I thought I got like a sunburn on my scalp. I didn't realize all what was going on. So what I do is I wear a hat in the sun. Whenever I have to go out, I keep a hat in my car, and I'll share a picture so you can see a picture of me in the car with my hat on. But I just shield basically my scalp with everything going on. I don't need to add another issue in there. For whatever reason, the sun is a bit too much for me. And so that's what I do to just kind of keep it happy. And it works for me. If I'm gonna be out in the sun, I keep my hat on. Now, since I've started to get better, I've had a couple of days where I've forgotten my hat, or I think I went to a party outside and I didn't have a hat on. I was kind of in the shade a little bit, but I didn't have scalp issues, which is great because before I started seeking treatment with my dermatologist, I could be in a car with the sunroof closed, and even if it was a sunny day, my scalp would still burn just from the sun that was coming into the car. So I know that for my scalp, before it started getting better, even being in a shielded car, it just wasn't enough to shield my scalp from, just what was kind of bouncing in. So until I get, and back to a place where my CCCA is like super low key and low profile, I am wearing a hat and it works for me. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Number 8, incorporating whole foods. There's a lot of talk about, as I continue to research like the types of foods that we eat and, what they do to our bodies. So work really nicely with my weight loss journey, but I work really, really hard to incorporate whole foods into my diet. And for a large part of this year, I was just eating almost exclusively whole foods, which I believe really helped me a lot. I am a busy mom who works full time. And so I have had to modify that a little bit for the sake of my own sanity, because I don't have that much time to cook every day and all that stuff. I do cook a lot, but I mean, I just try to, you know, do what I can without getting like too stressed. So, for example, if I go pick up chicken fingers for dinner, I will strip all of the bread, the fried part off, that fried crackly skin part off. And then I'll heat up a bag of frozen vegetables and I'll mix it together and I'll eat it like it's a little vegetable and protein bowl. If my kids get fries, I'll grab a couple of their fries, but I won't really get my own fries. Rarely do I do that. Barely any sugar, barely any sugar. I just try my best, like I said, to incorporate whole foods as much as I can. I'm pulling in as many fruits and salads as I can. I do not use sugar. I try to, reduce carbs, reduce starches as much as I can. Like I said, I was going a little bit more gung-ho earlier this year, but I had to rear it back just a little bit. But still, I'll make if I'm having a sandwich at home, I'll get, some turkey meat and mix it with a handful of salad and a little like spinach wrap with like a little bit of cheese and, some tomatoes and stuff versus like a burger or something like that. Salad wraps, lots of water, apples with peanut butter. That's kind of where I live right now in terms of what I'm eating. Bananas, just whole foods, as I said. Even my peanut butter, I buy peanut butter without sugar, which took me a little, I was like, oh, it's a lot of sugar and peanut butter because, this tastes different. But I got used to it and I love it now. It completely fills me up, apple with peanut butter. So those are some changes I've made over time and incorporated slowly so that I wouldn't get overwhelmed and modified when I needed to. Number 9, rest and release stress, which is easier said than done. People say like, oh, CCCA reacts to stress. And I'm like, how do you tell yourself to stop being stressed? That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But for me, I'm a very logical person. I like planning and organizing things. And so I try my best to like incorporate systems and processes in my personal life to eliminate stress. So, putting bills on auto pay. I make sure I wash a load of laundry a day so that I don't, run out of laundry. I just do like a little bit of cleaning each day. My groceries, I basically do like grocery pickup through like Target or Kroger to keep my life simple. I have like a little process of things I go through each day so that everything is always kind of ready. This is like a whole bunch of stuff I'm throwing out here, but just stuff I've been working on the last year. I really simplified my wardrobe. I simplified my makeup routine and my makeup products. So much stuff that I could share on the channel. And if you want to hear more about any of those things, listen in the comments and let me know. But I've really been trying to just simplify things to make my life easier. And that has actually helped me quite a bit. Taking rest and breaks when I feel like I need a rest or a break. If I need a 15-minute break to just breathe, I do that. I'm drinking my coffee, just slowing myself down. That helps me. All those different types of things really help me a lot. Number 10, last but not least, keep researching and be your own advocate. Sometimes you have to, fight for yourself. Like I said, it's not easy finding a dermatologist or getting help. You might have to really fight for it. It might take a while to kind of really get there, to get things the way it needs to be. But I would keep doing that. The medical community continues to research CCCA and different things that help. So I try to keep my ear to the ground. I try to do a lot of research. As I suggested in the beginning of the video, scarringalopecia.org, I believe, is probably one of the main sources of information or inspiration that you can find for scarring alopecia. I believe they have a support group that meets on a monthly basis. I have not been a part of any of the meetings. I thought about going, but I haven't done it yet. I found a lot of support just through posting on YouTube and chatting with all of the women I've met that way who have scarring alopecia. But definitely fight for yourself. Don't give up. If you want to keep your hair, or keep your hair as long as you can, keep fighting. I'm fighting. I don't know what things will look like 10, 20 years down the road, but I sure am fighting and doing everything that I can. And so far I'm getting great reports from my dermatologist that my hair, my scalp is starting to improve. My density has been improving in my scalp thanks to the metformin and me just kind of following her orders. And I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep being my own advocate. I hope we can all do that. So those are my top 10 tips. What I've been doing to fight CCCA, it's going to be different for everyone, what really works. And like I said, no matter what, consult with your doctor. I'd love to hear what you all may be doing out there that might be different from what I'm doing, or if you have any other questions, comments, or other videos that you would like to see me post, let me know in the comments. Thanks so much and take care. Bye.